Welcome to AIC Reviews. Today I want to do a quick overview / review of an Asus X205T laptop. It's Asus or Microsoft's answer to a Chromebook. In a lot of ways, physically, it actually very much resembles a Chromebook, as well as some of the specs that you would find are very similar between the two. I've gone ahead and I said it's kind of review. It's also a bit of a comparison because I have my Nextbook 10 over there as well that I wanted to kind of go over the two since I've done reviews on that previously. As far as the overall design of the laptop, it's very thin, it's very light. It kind of has this very matte, mine happens to be blue, it's just what was available. It's a matte finish. And it looks very nice. It's actually a premium, I shouldn't say premium, it definitely is a higher end looking system. It doesn't look as inexpensive as it was. And the price for this when I bought it, now I was able to get some discounts and credits on it, but the retail price of it was right at $200. I paid, like I said, less than that, but anybody else, if you're buying it on Amazon, I'll put a link to it in the description below. About $200 for this system. Why did I buy it? I bought it so I could take notes. At previous work, my computer was mine, and I just used it for work, and so I could have some personal things on it. With the company I work for now, my work computer is work's computer, and I don't feel comfortable having quite as much on there as I did before, so I want something I can take notes on and do some work on outside of work, and so I picked up something. I did have something else in the works, but it didn't work out very well, so my goal with this is so I could type. Now, I was actually going to get a Chromebook. I've had one previously, didn't use it as much as I thought I was going to, so I ended up giving it to a family member who uses it constantly, and it's been a very good system for them. But now that I can't use my work computer and as a personal computer, I wanted something else, and so I was looking at a Chromebook versus a Windows computer, and I had a couple of really strong desires. One was an excellent battery life. Second was very light and thin. You're like, well, you have your Nextbook, which I have here, and I really do like my Nextbook. Has a lot of great things about it. Don't know what a Nextbook is. It's a 2-in-1 tablet, so the screen, as you can see, disconnects from the keyboard, and so you have a tablet with a touchscreen and a keyboard. And the tablet has a very nice screen, very responsive touchscreen, but the keyboard for it and specifically the touchpad are not very good. Typing accuracy is pretty low, and touchpad accuracy is very low as well. So I can't really use it to type on. It's great if I'm just using web browsing, maybe respond to a couple emails here or there, but any extended typing is not very good at. The other thing that I have a problem with is it's very top heavy, so holding it in your lap or anything where there's any kind of incline, it's prone to fall backwards, because there's no weight in the keyboard. The weight is all in the screen. Well, that is very much different with the Asus X205T. It basically has almost no weight. It's actually significantly lighter than the Nextbook 10 that I have. Its weight is in the base because that's where the components are stored, and the screen is just the screen instead of being the computer itself. Typing accuracy on this is very good. The keys are slightly bigger than they are on the Nextbook, but they're about I want to say they're just a little bit taller, but they're also quite a bit wider, and so typing on this is very much a pleasure. They have a nice travel on them. The trackpad is also very, very nice on it. It's much bigger than it is on my Nextbook. In fact, it's probably bigger than, or about as big as it is on my ZBook 17, which makes for a very nice size trackpad. Now, it is just a single button, But unlike some others, and if you've seen some of my videos, the Lenovo single button trackpads are terrible. They're very poorly designed. They float and they're very easy to press. This one, I don't find that to be a problem. I've done quite a bit of typing on it today, and it's in a good location. I would like it to be recessed just a hair, kind of like it is on the Nextbook. There's a bit of a lip there. It's not completely flush, as it is on the Asus, but it's in a good enough location for the way I type. My hands are here. As you can see, my thumbs are not resting on the trackpad unless I move them over there. When I bought this, it did come with Windows 8.1, which I then upgraded to Windows 10. I much prefer the Windows 10 operating system over Windows 8.1. I think most people would. So I would highly recommend doing that. Now, there is one problem with doing that. Here, it comes with a 32 gigabyte storage. When you buy it with Windows 8.1, you only have 18 gigs available to you. 10 gigs is partitioned off for the recovery drive. Now, that doesn't give you enough space to run the Windows 10 update, so you have to run it off a USB drive. And it does have two USB ports here on the side, right there. And they are USB 2 and not USB 3. I wish they were USB 3. Especially with something with as limited storage as this. However, I am getting a larger micro SD card, which will go in here for additional storage on this device. It does have, I'll just go over the ports here real quick. It has a proprietary charging port. It looks like a mini USB port, but it's not. It is a proprietary port. If you try to plug a mini USB in there, a micro USB, it will break. This is where you put in your micro SD. This is a micro HDMI port, your headphone microphone jack. Background on this side, you have just the two USB ports. There's nothing on the back, and along the front there are just some LEDs here, which I do appreciate the addition of, as well as two front firing speakers. Now, I've not done anything as far as any kind of video or music on this to see how they sound. That wasn't my intention with it, so whether they sound okay or not, they do have to sound better than the ones on the Nextbook for one big reason. The speakers on the Nextbook are back here behind the screen facing away from you. These are at least facing in your general direction. However, I do not like them being on the bottom. If you hold it in your lap, that means they fire down into your lap and not up towards you. I much prefer speakers that are either here along the edge or here along the back hinge. Now, due to the size of this system, obviously they had to make for some allowances of where things can go, and there just really isn't much room here or here, obviously. And for them to be any size, they couldn't be along this front bezel either. Now, I did run 3D Mark on these. I ran the business test with OpenGL. Let me get here. Let's see if it'll focus. So the test score on this is both a bit surprising and not surprising. And of course my camera doesn't want to focus. Let me see if it'll focus on my finger. It was focusing earlier and now it's not. I apologize. There we go. The score I got was 1,101, and it took several hours to run. It took, sorry it's not showing up in the video, but it took 227 minutes to run. Now if I go over to the Nextbook, I got a score of 1,111, and it took 25 minutes to run. And that was actually surprising to me. They have very similar specs, hardware-wise, except for they both have Bay Trail processors, but this one's just labeled an Intel. It's not given a specific name, where the Nextbook actually has a branded Atom processor. Where they differ is this one has 2 gigabytes of memory, where the Nextbook only has 1. And I'm surprised that the tests we're so close with this one actually getting a lower score because of that 2 gigabytes of memory. In normal day-to-day use, and I've used both of these today, done very similar tasks with them, namely typing, bringing up some web pages. The 2 gigabytes of memory definitely make a difference with your web browsing. With the Nextbook, I was having a problem with, bringing up more than one page would cause it to really slow down and bring up 4 or 5 pages, especially ones that had a lot of stuff going on, a lot of pictures, a lot of elements on the page. It really bogged down the Nextbook. So it's really only good for 1 or 2 pages at a time, which for the most part for most people should be fine. But I do a lot of research and things like that, so the 2 gigabytes of memory makes a big difference. They're both running 32-bit versions of Windows 10. You don't need 64-bit. They don't have enough memory, and you can't upgrade the memory to justify a 64-bit version of the operating system. So that is a quick overview of the Asus X205T. Definitely looking forward to doing some more videos. I'll probably throw Minecraft on here. One thing I didn't talk about is the battery life. As I said, I have been using this all day. As soon as that benchmark finished, I've been using it to browse the web, make some notes. I even went over to my grandparents this evening to do some troubleshooting with their internet, and I brought this along and used it as my troubleshooting device. And its battery life is absolutely amazing. It has over 78% left, and it says that it has at least 11 hours left. Now, even if it was off by as much as 10%, that means I still have almost 10 hours of battery life after using it for 4 or 5 hours today of almost continuous use. I shouldn't say continuous, but off and on use throughout the day. So the battery life on this is stellar. The battery life on the Nextbook isn't quite that good. It's okay. It's reasonable, but it's not stellar. I'm really hoping that with the Asus that I just get incredible battery life out of it, because that's really what I was going for, something with good battery life that I could type on, take notes on, and use, and carry with me. So very light, very easy to use with a good keyboard. I'm very happy with it so far. And if I can play Minecraft, just that much better. Alright, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comment section below, and I'm more than happy to answer those. I'll throw a link for this as well as the Nextbook and the Nextbook case online. I'll look for a case for this as well, and if I find one, I will put it online once I've purchased it and tried it out. I don't like linking to anything unless I've tried it out and I like it. So thank you again for watching, and have a great day. Bye-bye.